Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar, and in today's bass guitar lesson, I'm going to show you how to start improvising walking bass lines. So if you've never improvised a walking bass line before, make sure you check out this lesson because I'm going to show you a device called the Walking Bass Cell Builder. If you're a beginner to intermediate bass guitar player, make sure you check out this lesson all the way to the end. Hey guys, it's James here from eBassGuitar. We specialise in helping beginner to intermediate bass guitar players who are in the early phases of learning. So if you'd like to receive more lessons like this, make sure you hit the red subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube, because we release a lesson just like this every single week. Right now at eBassGuitar.com, we are running a 90-day walking bass guitar challenge where we are helping students learn how to play walking bass in the styles of rock, pop, and jazz. And one of the things that has come up is that many students feel freaked out by the concept of improvising walking bass lines. So I'm going to show you how to start improvising walking bass lines today using a concept called the Walking Bass Cell Builder. We're going to use the classic Van Morrison song Moondance. So let me show you what we're going to be covering today. So just before we hit the lesson content today, I want you to know there's a completely free PDF you can grab where you can see all of the walking bass lines we're discussing today written out in standard notation and tab. There is a link in the description below where you can grab your free copy. Also, if you're looking to grab the backing track that we're using in today's lesson, you can get this inside the backing track vault, which is part of the Bass Lab Plus membership over at eBassGuitar.com. There's a link in the description below where you can join free today with a 14-day trial. So today we're going to be looking exclusively at the verse section of Moondance, which is 16 bars long. And the great thing from a bass playing perspective is what we can do is we can simplify this down into 16 bars of the chord A minor. So the first thing we need to do is learn the scale which fits over the chord of A minor. And the best place to start, in my opinion, is looking at the A natural minor scale. So let me talk you through that scale to begin with. So that starts off at an A at the 5th fret, and then we play a B, and then we play a C like that, and then we go up and play a D, an E, an F, and then a G, and then an A. So this scale sounds like this. You may want to think of it in terms of intervals too, so that is the root, the second, the flattened third, the fourth, the fifth, the flattened sixth, the flattened seventh, and the octave. And in terms of fingering, using the 1 finger per fret system, I would finger it 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 3. So first of all, get that under your hands as well. I would also recommend learning the A minor 7 arpeggio. So very quickly, that is A, C, E, G, and then the octave A. So practice that coming up and down. The intervals of that are root, flattened third, fifth, and flattened seventh, and the octave. So that will give us all of the most important information we need to start creating walking bass lines over the first section of Moondance. So here's the thing, many students feel freaked out because they feel like they need to improvise their walking bass lines. But the reality is the vast majority of bass players have a library of short walking bass lines which they then fit together. So the critical thing is to start building up your arsenal of walking bass lines. And this is what I call the Walking Bass Cell Builder. And what I'm going to do later in this lesson is show you how to string these together to create walking bass lines which sound improvised. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you 5 1-bar walking bass lines based over the first 5 notes of the A minor scale. These are all 100% real world bass lines that I would use when I'm out gigging day to day using the song Moondance. So first of all, let's look at walking bass line number 1. So this is simply the root, the second, the flattened third, and the fifth. So that is A, B, C, E. So let's play that bass line round and round. let's hear what that sounds like in context with the backing track. So for walking bass line number 2 or cell number 2, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the root, the flattened third, the fifth and the flattened third. So we end up with this bass line. So let's hear what that sounds like in context with the backing track. So for walking bass line number 3, what we're going to play is root, flattened third, fourth and fifth. So the notes are A, C, D, E. So to repeat it. So let's hear what that sounds like with the backing track. Now for number 4, what we're going to play is we're going to go root, third, second, fifth. And I love the shape to this bass line. So the notes are an A, a C, a B and an E. So it sounds like this. So let's hear what that sounds like in context. So for walking bass line number 5, I'm going to add in what's called a chromatic note, and this will give it more of a jazz flavour. So this sounds like this. So the notes for that are an A sharp, a B and an E. So to repeat it. So let's hear what that sounds like in context with the backing track. So the next thing I want you to do is go away and practice all 5 of those 1-bar walking bass lines and really get them under your fingers. Don't underestimate the simplicity of what I've just shown you, because there is so much information within the range of the first 5 notes of the A minor scale. So really get super comfortable, and in just a second I'll show you how to start randomizing them so that it sounds like an improvised walking bass line. So guys, if you're enjoying this lesson, make sure you jump over to eBassGuitar.com and check out the Bass Lab Plus. The Bass Lab Plus is a full step-by-step, easy to understand bass guitar program design, especially for the beginner to intermediate bass guitar player. So whether you're looking to play at your first jam session, you want to join a cover band or join the worship team or just rock out at home, we've got all the courses and all the skills that you need to gain to be able to just do that, including learning how to improvise walking bass. And you can get hold of resources like this, such as my book, The Complete Guide to Walking Bass for Bass Guitar Players, there too. There is a link in the description below where you can join free today with a 14-day trial. So now we've got to the exciting part of the lesson where I'm going to show you how to create improvised sounding walking bass lines using the walking bass cell builder. Now this is really super easy. All we have to do is take the 5 bass lines that we've learned so far and randomize them, and we can do this any way we like. There's no hard and fast rule. You can sort of do it on the fly like I'm going to do right now, or you can write down different combinations. You get incredibly mathematical and create a computer software program to do it. Anything you like. There's no set way of doing it, but the critical thing is to appreciate what we're doing is we're using set short bass lines or cells that we've already learned. To show you this in context, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through each of the bass lines one by one. I'm going to play them twice each, and then I'm going to fully randomize them. And what you'll see is you start to get the effect of an improvised walking bass line, because it's never really the same twice. Also, you can play the riffs or the walking bass lines as many times as you like. So you might hear me repeating them 3 or 4 times, and that's perfectly okay. So this is what the walking bass cell builder formula sounds like in action when I randomize it. So you can clearly hear how the walking bass line we've created there starts to sound more improvised when we use the walking bass cell builder and randomize the little 1-bar bass lines that we create. So what I would love you to do is start creating your own 1, 2 or 4-bar walking bass lines, and over time you'll start building up your library and your arsenal of walking bass lines, and then start to expand them across the whole of the fingerboard. This is exactly the sorts of skills I'm teaching over at eBassGuitar.com in the 90-day walking bass challenge, where we're teaching students how to play walking bass in the styles of rock, pop and jazz. So what I want to do to finish off this lesson is show you where these ideas can go, how we can take these simple 1-bar ideas and really start expanding them across the whole of the neck. You'll also hear some of the bass lines that I would naturally play over the verse section of Moondance. So guys, that's the end of today's bass guitar lesson. If you've enjoyed the lesson, make sure you download the free PDF cheat sheet where you can see all of the walking bass lines or cells that we've covered today written out in standard notation and tab. Also, if you're looking for a step-by-step bass guitar program to learn walking bass from the ground upwards and to start improvising on the bass guitar, make sure you check out the Bass Lab Plus over at eBassGuitar.com. You can join today free with a 14-day trial. There's a link for both of those in the description below. I will catch you next time. Cheers. I've been James from eBassGuitar.com.